hopefully for the next hour or so, an inspirational being. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to log on. I know it always takes a little while for our feeds to go through. We have about a 50 or 60-second delay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit while you all find me out there in cyberspace. And let's see who we have on. I have a very loud mouse tonight, don't I? Still don't see the show yet. Should be there any minute. I see Tony and Sally. And there I am. So hi everybody, how are we all doing? So, who have I got online today? I see a few of you out there. So you guys know the drill. Every week I have to share the show. So we're going to do that. Hi Donna, how are you? I have to thank Donna because she's always bringing me friends along on the show. And Gina is going to be joining us. I've got a bunch of people out here. I'm just looking to see. Here's my share button. Sometimes it takes a little while for the share button to come up. Don't know why. So I hope you all have been having a super fantastic week. We have a new moon coming in. Actually, tomorrow is Friday the 16th. So there's a new moon coming in, and it's in Libra. So for all my fellow Librans out there, I happen to be a Libra. So I have my little Libra army. So for all of you out there who are Libras, happy birthday. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We are also going to talk about some revelations, how this energy is affecting all of us. I wonder if there's anybody out there that actually has been sleeping a little bit more or having vivid dreams, because that's a really big deal these days. We've got Mercury doing some things that are kind of making us all a little contemplative in our sleep. So let me just share the show. I just got to link this. And as you all know, I cannot type and talk at the same time. Good thing I wasn't a secretary, right? Okay, that's one. Got to share the show to another place. So you guys all just relax, talk amongst yourselves. It's very weird seeing one's face all over in 3D, all these monitors. Okay, so now I'm going back to you all, and we're going to have fun for the next hour. Let's see what we have to talk about. So I've noticed that the energy definitely changed. How many of you have noticed like a real shift in energy around Sunday night, the last couple of days? I don't like the way my bangs look. Oh well, that's just my three-dimensional ego. So anyway, felt an energy shift Sunday night, like all of a sudden, very much like that. This whole year has been very heavy, and we've really been doing a lot of work in our lives, and changes have been happening, and all these things happening. And then very, challenging all year. And then all of a sudden Sunday, I felt this optimism and strength come through. And so that was definitely some of the cosmic changes. I won't go into all of them right now, but that was definitely Mercury coming in. We had Pluto squaring. We had a lot of things doing. Sun was squaring everything last week. So energy definitely shift. And I want to talk about what that's about, because right now we need the break, and it seems funny because everything is so heightened right now. If you look at the media, it's like things are really heating up with this election, with so many things that we're doing. But I'm going to talk a little bit about why the energy shifted and what it means for us. And then I also want to talk a little bit about control. So I'm going to just say hi to Maria, Donna, Elaine. I see a few of you on tonight. I know it's weird. It was such a very strange day. Like the energy changed and things were very quiet. Hi, John. How are you? All right. So as we go, I know a bunch of you will come on. Terry. So this energy changed, and I had some revelations, as I always do, right? Like why the energy changed. And I can go into all the planetary aspects, but I don't think that's really going to help you with this particular transit. I think what we need to talk about is what we're supposed to do with this energy. So all year long, a lot of things have been happening at the 22 and 23 degree mark of Capricorn. And then Aries also going retrograde, squared those at 22, 23 Aries. And there were a lot of things that happened in those degrees in the zodiac in different signs. And every time the squares or the aspects or the trines or anything happened at those critical points bouncing off of Capricorn, we underwent another surge of energy, another challenge, another COVID revisit, another election thing, another racial riot thing, all of these things just happening and happening like a big rotation all year long. And so now those aspects are a little bit less. They're starting to move away from each other. So the energy is shifting a little bit, but it's not over yet. We still have a couple of go-arounds. But for now, we're having this little bit of a reprieve, let's say, okay? So all of this energy started in January with the big Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter conjunctions. And if you think about it, if we had gotten pregnant in January, we would be birthing a baby right now, right? So it's almost as though this whole year has been this big gestation period of changes and losses and all of these things happening to us that we couldn't believe were happening, and all these changes that were like, well, I didn't see that coming. And so as all of these things are happening, we're gaining wisdom, we're grieving loss, and in that grief we're finding more wisdom, we're finding losses and beginnings, we're finding ways that we can adapt to things, we're finding all of these gifts inside the challenge, all of this, great stuff inside the chaos. And so now we're at a point, we're at the 9-10 month mark when we're actually ready to give birth to whatever's occurred this whole year and start to really come into the energy of what am I supposed to do with all this that I learned this year with all these changes with, I'm in a completely different place than I was when I started in January. Where do I go from here? So what's happening in this week and next week, so mostly be intense the next 2 weeks, as Mercury retrogrades in Scorpio, which brings out truth, revelation, deep diving into our psyches. This is psychological integration at its highest form. That's why we're dreaming vividly. That's why we are having these aha moments. That's why we're suddenly looking back at our past and seeing things in a different way than we've seen them before. So now it becomes the idea of this psychological integration that's happening, bringing us to yet another level in our lives, another level of growth and spirituality and perception. And what it really is meant to be, it's almost like I can think of like a slingshot or a rubber band, or maybe even, the south node is in Sagittarius, which is the arrow, right? Pulling back in order to aim higher. And so I feel like we're not quite full circle yet. We haven't given birth yet, but we are coming on to that part where we really know what it's all about. We understand the energy. We're starting to see the revelation of what this year really has meant for us. And we're starting to make the plan about what we want to do with it. So when we're in this critical point, I think it's really important to think about what we value and why we do those things that we're doing. The way we act out our daily life, does that match the things we value and the way we really want our life to be? That's what this whole year has been about. It's been about aligning our routines, aligning the way we live with who we truly want to be, who we want to show up to be in the world, and really getting the idea of putting into actuation and making reality that which we want our life to be based on the things we really value. And so we've had a lot of deprivation, we've had a lot of things that were hard to swallow. But I think that now we're getting to the point where we can swallow them. We realize just the mere fact that we've gotten this far is a chance to pat ourselves on the back and be proud of who we are. And now it's time to step into the actual actuation and planning of what we really want to do with all these things we learned. and where we really want to be. And I think that now this next month, these next 2 months, what's happening in the external world is actually going to be downplayed in our personal lives. Now the fever pitch switches from being on social media and all of these things and constantly getting hooked in to all of these exasperating and unbelievable changes that we're going through in the outside world. Now the thinking shifts more to us and our own life, and how has this all affected me, and where do I want to go from here? So it's really interesting. And if I had to sum up this whole kind of spherical, circular year, and we've still got some to go, so we're going to have some more lessons and some more wisdom. But if I had to sum it up based on where I am right now, I think the biggest lesson for me, and I'm sure for many of you, has really, when you think about it, been about control. And I think there was a big portion of this year where we forgot that we're in control of our lives, because there were so many externals, and I don't know, probably for you as well as for me, things going on even in our personal life that were controlling, that were showing us like, you can't go here, you can't do that, but you can do this. No, that's not going to work, but this will work. Okay, I can't get up and go to my office anymore. How am I adapting? So it was a pivot, a constant pivot. And inside that pivot, we learned we were controlled by many things, and it frustrated us. And we forgot that within that, there's always a way that we can control our reaction, our emotion, allowing other people to trigger us and push our buttons. And that's where I've come back to. It's like the major storm's over. We might have a few little dust ups, but the major storms are over, and I'm standing in this really quiet place, and suddenly I realized I have total control over my choices and the way I react to everything in my life. And that has always been a motto, a mantra, a way of life for me. But I think we lost that, and we got tossed around a little bit in the whirlpool of 2020, and we kind of forgot that basic lesson, and now we're back in it again. Now we've got our bearings, we're getting our control back, but the only thing is, the things that we value to control are different than they were going into this year. And so that's really, really what I'm feeling the energy is. And we've got some planetary things coming in to really help us achieve what we want to achieve. This has been a year where we've put the achievements on the back burner. We couldn't look at them. We couldn't even think about them. Too much was going on in both our outside and inside worlds. We weren't sure where things are headed. And now it's almost like we've reached a point of, doesn't matter. I'm going to find a way to do the things that I want to do regardless. It's almost like losing a limb and finding that you can be just as productive with what you have left over. And so I think that for me, that was a really, really cool lesson. And I actually only solidified it this morning. And I was thinking about it all, and I'm like, you know what? This whole year has been about control, about the patriarchal society trying to control us, about us trying to control truth, us trying to force our points on people to control them, us thinking about the duality of control and how, well, you don't think like I think, so you're out, I'm in. I'm going to unfriend that person because they just don't believe what I believe. I'm going to, go to this rally and thumb my nose at these people. And so it's all about control. It's all about trying to control an environment that was completely and totally out of control for the last 8-9 months. So I think we're ready to birth the baby that this whole year's been seeded with. And that baby is going to be a whole new, totally stronger us. And while you're doing this work the next couple of weeks and coming into this, the other lesson that I think we have to really remember about is gratitude. Because I am so grateful for this year. And believe me, 2020 tossed me around on an ocean. There were many times I thought we were going to drown. But we didn't. Not yet anyway. I know we have a couple months to go. But I think we're through the worst. And I think there's going to be a lot of shakeups, a lot of truth revealed, a lot of things coming out, especially on our political and global front, other countries as well. Mercury in Scorpio will do that. It's the deep diving. It digs in the dirt and brings up what needs to be seen. So if you have any secrets in your own life, they're not going to be secrets very long. If you have childhood trauma or childhood inner child work that you're doing, or work you're doing on relationships from the past, that's really going to be heightened in this energy, but not in a painful way. You may feel the wound, but if you step into the control of not allowing it to hurt you, then the real lesson in that with Mercury in Scorpio and Pluto coming into the mix is I'm a different person than I was when that happened to me. I'm a different person than I was when I was in that relationship. I'm a different person than I was as a child. So if you can look back, because Mercury retrograde makes us look back. If you can look back, but not step into that time, if you can look back with the eyes that you have, the heart that you have now, you're going to get the perception, the lesson of what Mercury retrograde really wants to teach us. It wants to teach us to look back with the wisdom, the authority, and the control that we have in our lives now. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know that for many of us, Mercury retrograde is challenging. It will also be a lot of computer security breaches, which you're seeing some of that in the news. I actually just had an issue with a debit card today. Totally Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. So lock down your devices, lock down your bank accounts, lock down all of your technology and media, because things will happen in a Mercury retrograde with Scorpio especially. So comments, feedback, what are you guys thinking about my little opening monologue tonight? Are you guys feeling that energy shift and, finally understanding about, dreams are very vivid, Maria. Finally understanding about what the lessons of this year were for you. Dreams are going to be very vivid right now because, Neptune's in Pisces. We've got Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Pluto was squaring the sun for a little while this week. That's going to make us have that psychological integration. And what happens is we do that in our subconscious. So whatever your dreams are, even if they seem totally insane and crazy, there are messages in the dreams. There are definitely messages in the dream. It was so weird. Last night I dreamt, I woke up in the middle of the night and I had the name Archie Bell in my mind. And I know Archie Bell and the Drells, right? Because I'm a music lover. And so it was just so weird. I'm like, why are they telling me about Archie Bell, And I realized maybe it was just bell, like ring a bell. In the old saying about how angels are near when you ring a bell. And also they've been giving me a great deal of revelation and psychological integration in my life, like that I am so blessed for. I am in one of the best places in my life that I've ever been in many ways right now. I have a little bit of things I need to clear, but that's going to be okay because I'm going to do it. And we always have that work in progress that we do, and the revelations come when we need them. So just, wondering feedback-wise what you guys are thinking and what you feel you see with the computer stuck. Talk about Mercury retrograde. What you see and feel right now. Elaine. Okay. Hi, Elaine. Terry Pragg. Hi, Annette, whoever Annette is. Annette Lindenhurst. I know who you are. Hi, Annette. How are you? Usually we do, on Wednesday nights, we do this meditation. And I used to have a Reiki circle in my house, which we haven't been able to have since COVID. Hey, Rain. Love you. Donna, Maria, Janine. Hey, Janine. David. Hey. Pauline. Christina. Might as well confess to self. Yes, not painful. Yes, that's true. One of the things I want to talk about in relation to, I saw Pauline's remark, ask for forgiveness, spirit to spirit. Pauline had her smartphone shut down. Yeah, I've been having a lot of internet glitches myself. Very quirky. I actually went to the bank today. I had to get a new debit card because someone DoorDashed. They ordered like $200 worth of DoorDash things on my credit card, and I wasn't my stuff. I don't ever DoorDash. And I went to the bank to get a new card, and the machine that makes the cards broke down. So I was like, okay, I'm going to come back when the aspect's a little different. But really glitchy this time, more so than ever, because in Scorpio, it's going to be more powerful. All right. what I wanted to start out to say about the new moon coming in tomorrow. The new moon is, let me just get my notes. You know, I always need my notes. New moon is in Libra, 23 degrees, so it's touching that point at 3:30 tomorrow, 3:30 in the afternoon. So this new moon is also going to heighten the psychological integration. That's why our dreams are heightened and everything. But new moons are endings, and this new moon is a super moon. It's the most powerful moon of the year as far as a new moon goes, because super moons means the moon is closest to Earth. So that gives us power. It's illuminating things for us in a way that, you know, on another evening maybe would not be. What is this new moon illuminating? Libra, 23 degrees. It's right there on those 23, 22 critical points that we've had all year. It's igniting that energy. For some, this could be very much aggression. You know, we've had that theme all year. But I also think for many of us, this is going to be ending a chapter, but kind of softly, not so aggressively. And the reason I think that is because we've done the work. We've been doing the work all year. That push-pull, every time we revisited something and pulled back and revisited and pulled back, it's given us all the information we need to make our decisions. And so now this new moon comes in, it's illuminating it, and we're ready to move forward. We may still have a little trouble releasing, and that's what I want to talk about, is the rituals. This new moon is ripe for rituals, especially because we've got Mercury in Scorpio. We've got the asterisk Juno right there as well. Juno is long-term relationships. And we've got the sun in Libra. Libra is all about partnership. And that's where the new moon is, because new moons are sun and moon the same. So that is all partnerships. It could be romantic. It could be familial, it could be business, but this is highlighting partnerships and ending, and it would be ending the things that no longer serve, the contracts that are done. And I think with a ritual or two, we can end those things much quieter and much softer. So let's talk a little bit about ritual. What is ritual? You know, sometimes when I talk about ritual, I get feedback from people that, you know, am I Wicca or something like that? No. Ritual is also positive. It's so positive. What rituals are focused intention. You know, I grew up Catholic, and a ritual for me is going to Mass and having communion. I still love to do that because that ritual is steeped in my childhood faith. And so sometimes I still go and receive communion because that ritual is a focused intention on renewal for me, on rebirth for me, on my faith and trust in God Creator. So a new moon ritual would be something where you are releasing. It could be burning a photo. It could be writing a letter and burning it. It might be getting rid of something that no longer serves you. Fire is very good for new moon rituals, things like that. But I also think that whatever this ritual is, pick things that support where you want to go in the future. They support the releasing. They support the letting go. They support the decision that you really truly want to make and you know is for your highest good. So whatever the ritual is, it has to be something that you plan, you create, and you make. And you'll know because it will feel right to you. Over the years, I've done many, many rituals. You know, sometimes it's just sitting in contemplative prayer or meditation. Sometimes it's doing a reading for myself with cards. But make a ritual, something that focuses the intention of what you want into this new moon as far as an ending goes. It's a very powerful new moon, and it's very powerful energy for doing that. I'm trying to think of a hypothetical to give you. If you want to end a relationship, maybe you want to write a letter to that person thanking them for being your teacher in your life as far as giving you insight and revelation and helping you to heal the wounds. And now you're going to write a letter in gratitude for that and understanding that the relationship is over and why. And maybe you're going to throw that into your fire pit. Maybe you're going to have maybe you're going to have a revelation about something and you want to clear that energy and you don't want to feel like that particular way anymore. So write a letter about that. Sometimes you can even just go to the beach and you can actually pick up a rock or a shell or something and think about the relationship you want to end, or the job you want to leave, or the house you no longer want to live in, and put the energy of that into that object and then throw it in the ocean. That would be a release. So whatever your ritual is, I don't know if anybody out there has one that they would share with us. But of course there are rituals that you could find online, and there's a lot of rituals that you can do on YouTube and all of that stuff. But I think that in the long run, you want to create something that's personal to you and something that really helps you to release whatever is the thing that you really want to release in your life. I think that doing that makes it so much more powerful because it's personal to you and it's about what you really want in your life and you've aligned with that. All right. Elaine says she had a crazy dream and she was up out of bed fighting her shadow. Had to wake me because I was standing next to nerd fighting. That's funny. So you were actually acting it out in your dream in the three-dimensional world. That's really cool. I think that when those things happen, I had a nightmare actually a couple of weeks ago that was like that, and I couldn't figure out if it was real or not. And I actually called someone at 1:30 in the morning, and I don't even remember calling them the next day. And they were like, "It was so weird, Georgia. It was like you were still in the dream." And so, but I dialed their number. They'll never do that again, hopefully. But I never did it before. But the dream was so vivid, it was very frightening. And it was actually somebody in my driveway was stabbing me. And of course, when you have dreams like that, or you're fighting a shadow, or you're fighting anything, it's coming from you. It's your own fear that is grasping you. And that's why it's so terrifying when we have those dreams. So if you're aware of that and you know it, you can wake up and it gets back to control. You have control over how you're feeling about that dream because you're creating it. You created it, not any outside force. Okay. April. Hi, April. I just have to go back because Rain says the shift feels physically painful, mostly body stuff for me, especially when a newer full moon is coming. That could be that you are holding stuff in your chakras anyway. It's always there, but the moon energy highlights it. It really wants to be released. I know you do Reiki. I would definitely go to a practitioner and see if you can get a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about physical pain. Sometimes when we have physical pain, especially right now because we're doing so much psychological integration, the physical pain will feel physical. Like we'll say, "Oh, my heart, I'm having chest pains, my heart hurts." It's really your heart chakra, which is your energy center in your heart. And what that is it's trauma from the past. It could be a past life. It could be the trauma from this life. But we carry that in our energy centers. And then when something triggers it, or we're trying to release it, or maybe spirit just feels now is the time for us to work with it, it rises to the surface and it's very painful. I've had a lot of things like that in my life with the new moon energy being that way. Yes, Pauline, the new moon would also be balanced because of Libra, but people oftentimes misinterpret Libran balance. The reason why Libra is the scales and the sign of balance is not because Libras are balanced. Usually Libras are kind of imbalanced and they spend most of their lives trying to get balance through other. And so when we have a new moon in that sign, although some astrologers will talk about balance, what really it is the integration of finding our own balance with ourself. And that's truly what the sign of Libra is about. It's about knowing that you don't need to seek balance, comfort, or non-conflict through the other. You don't need to be the diplomat. You need to go within and create balance in your own life to project out to the world. So a lot of times when there's a Libra full or new moon, it's balance in that sense. So what it's really about is the relationship with self, relationship with how the relationship with self acts out in your other relationships, how it's projected forward. Because whether we know it or not, every relationship we have is really a mirror of the relationship we have to ourselves. So if you are attracting angry people, you're probably angry at yourself about something. If you're attracting people in addiction, you're probably addicted to something. If you are attracting beautiful, kind, soft-hearted people, you probably are that. So we attract what we are. And so the relationship that we have with ourselves is what brings in our mates. So that's why the Libra moons, the sign of Libra, people always think it means balance. And, oh, you're a Libra, you're balanced. No. Libras strive and seek and grasp for balance most of their lives, never understanding the way to achieve it is to stop doing that and create it themselves. So once Libras do that, they're completely evolved. I'm going to read more questions, then we're going to go to a couple of cards. Okay. Yeah, when we have dreams like that, Elaine, it is very frightening because it's almost like our conscious mind is not in control. But we are, because we created the dream. The subconscious created the dream, and that's part of us. Okay, I got Gina and Maria and Donna here, the whole trio. Back pain is usually a sign that we are not moving forward. Keep doing Reiki Rain, because I think that you need to do that. Yep, you got that right, Aaron. Well, we all have a little bit of every sign in us, Gina. Gina says that makes sense for her, but she's an Aquarius. We all have a little bit of balance issues in us. We all have a little bit of Libras in us. We all have a little bit of Aquarius. Aquarius is actually the sign of the water bearer. And it's really interesting because people think Aquarius is a water sign. It's not. It's an air sign. Because Aquarius brings the water that air needs. So it's really pretty interesting. But that's a whole other show. So thank you all for sharing the show. I want to tell you guys, I'm going to do some cards. But I can tell you guys that you can find me on Zenkuda Official on Instagram and Zenkuda on YouTube. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel between now and Halloween, you will be entered to win a free reading. And whoever I pick, it'll be a random drawing. Whoever I pick will get a free reading in November. So you definitely want to hop on to Zenkuda on YouTube and subscribe. Because we're actually going to be bringing our live videos over to YouTube because I feel like Facebook is a little bit not in alignment with my energy. I'll just leave it there and you can unpack it later. Okay, so my first card tonight is going to be, as always, just let me look at my notes if there's anything else I want to tell you guys about. Yeah, so Mercury retrograde is going to bring in old stuff. It'll sometimes bring up old relationships it'll bring up like all kinds of stuff. So the reason it does that is not for us to fall in love with that person again, or it's so we revisit it, like I said before, revisit it with the eyes, ears, senses, and knowledge and wisdom and heart that we have now so that we can benefit from it in some way. All right? So just remember that, because a lot of times my readings always spike when we have a Mercury retrograde, especially in Scorpio. I'll get a ton of requests for readings because a lot of romantic partners start to come back. And people are like, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? But truthfully, it probably doesn't mean what you think it does. It basically means that you get another chance to integrate the energy so that you can learn from it. I always find sometimes our most painful things are... I didn't have my microphone on this whole time. Mercury retrograde. I find sometimes our most painful things are our greatest teachers, right? Oh, Rain, you got the soul cards. That's great. Yeah, they do have a second deck, I know. No, I know. I have the second deck as well. I just like the other ones. I'm so partial to them. Okay, so the first card is going to be for David. David, I'm picking... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not to that yet. I just bleeped. I'm going to pick a card for everybody tonight. So the first card I pick, as you guys know, is always for World Energy. From my Circle of Light cards. I do believe there's not enough light in the world. And so retrograde is over, David. Believe it or not, one of the reasons why this Mercury retrograde is so powerful, it ends on election day. So don't tell me that's a coincidence. November 3rd. Okay, so Spirit, help us pick a card for world energy. What are we picking here, Spirit? We are going to pick this beautiful card this evening. Okay, the world energy. Oh, this is so beautiful. The world energy is sacred space. And I do believe that anytime, I got to put this where we can see it in the light. Here we are. Wait. Why isn't this? There we are. Sacred space. And this is a photo that I took down at the beach with my crystals and my Buddhas. And this is sacred space. And the card says, light connects us to divine source. Isn't that a beautiful card? And so I think today we should be planning tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning when you wake up. We should be planning our beautiful rituals for the new moon and go into sacred space, because I think it's going to be really, really super powerful. So let's definitely do that. All right. I am going to pick some cards for people. Okay. My first card was for David. And thank you for thinking of me, Rain. That was really sweet. My first card is for David. Oh, I wanted to use the grace cards and I left them inside. Oh, well. Going to pick a card for you, David. I love the soul cards, Rain, because they're totally intuitive. If you're psychic, they're great because you'll read the photo. Okay, David. I think you got this card once before, David. David, you got to look up, not down, because this is all light above you. I think you got this same card last week, if I remember. And I very rarely remember those things. But this is all about light. And, you know, I almost think, I often use the expression with some of my clients, you're a frog in the well. Which means that, you know, you're swimming around this well, but you can't get out. You got yourself stuck. So that's what I think this card is, David. I think that you are really like focusing on the pain in the back, focusing on a lot of negative things. So please, David, you have to start to really go into the light, really start thinking positive things, okay? So just take that with you. My next card is going to be for Sarah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to bash anything. I don't want to have any negativity, but I got to tell you, Facebook, I used to enjoy because, you know, most of the friends on my Georgia Rose page and on my Georgia Rose Zenkuda are, you know, you all and my people that I work with, clients, customers, people in the spiritual world that I have great regard for. But the last few months, the way that the energy has gone is just really not anything I want to participate in. So I find myself just posting and not going on the news feeds. And so I don't really know, you know, reactions and things. So it's just not really, it's not really the positivity that I really began with. I use it for business and that's really pretty much it. So I'm really trying to get off the Facebook. I really want YouTube to be my platform, but I need subscribers in order to do that. So share it, get people to subscribe. I promise I won't want you. Sarah, this card is for you. Okay. Sarah, we were talking before about how this year feels like we're birthing something. And when I see this card, this to me is always a card of surrender because the hands are up in surrender. But it's also a card of complete faith. The hands on the bottom are really in the heart shape. And then there's this beautiful gift from the universe, a new beginning. Gestation period is coming to an end. It's just such calm, beautiful contentment on the face. And I really think that there's something, a gift coming to you. So just be in gratitude these next week or so, because I really think you're going to get a little surprise from the universe. Okay? Who's next? Let me see. Janine. Okay. So we're going to do something a little different as soon as I'm back in the studio, which should be by the end of October, if the email I got was correct. And then we'll have the call-in show, so I can do some of you readings on live on the phone again. Really so great. Okay. This card is for Gina. Gina, this is a card that shows the higher self. This is beautiful light surrounding you. It's almost like you're so confident and you really know yourself better than you have before. I think this year has been a real year of growth for you. Look at the angel wings across the shoulders coming into the card here. This is just beautiful divine energy. The light coming into the hands of the higher self. To me, this is you. This is the conscious world, three-dimensional, surrounded by angels, and then allowing your higher self, your intuition, the you that really knows who you are and your purpose in life coming through and being part in integration. This is really spiritual integration at its highest form. So Janine, whatever you're doing in your life, please keep doing it. You're on such a beautiful path. There's going to be a lot of rewards for you coming up. All right. And Jillian. Hey, Jillian, how are you? Okay. Jillian, I feel like if you have a son or a young boy around you, if there's worry surrounding him, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Don't know what that's about, but Spirit just told me that. Okay, Jillian, also, again, you know, it's all rebirth. That's just the energy right now. This beautiful birthing of light within you. This is, to me, this is the soul energy coming into your soul and allowing your light to just come through. Beautiful light coming out of the crown chakra. This is just integrating that beautiful soul energy. I feel like if there's a project or anything that you've been working on, it's really going to come to fruition by the end of the year. Brighter and brighter and brighter. And I feel like this project is really predicated, really dependent on you and your own creative ability and you creating something from within you. So allow the creativity to come out, let it flow through your hands. I feel like this is really, you know, creation, making something, creating something. A lot of you is going to be pouring into this. Okay, so just like take that with you, Jillian, because I really feel this project is high creativity for you. All right. And Vicky Beaver. Vicky. It looks to me like you are really in your head a lot, obviously. But when I look at this, I feel like there's changes going on. Like you're integrating, but I feel like it's more than integration for you. It's actually like you've had a revelation. Recently, this is pretty, you know, although I feel like it's coming on for a long time coming, I feel like the real revelation only happened recently. And I feel like you're almost surprised by the way your thoughts are now and your perceptions now because they're so different than the way they were for a very long time. I feel like the aura, if you look, there's an aura around this person, this being, and it's pure white light. So to me, that is ascension. It's rising. It's you coming into a forgiveness, a compassion, a theme in your life that is going to last the next 5 to 10 years for you, where you're just rising. Your ability to find compassion and feel things is rising, more so than you ever have felt before. And that's really what I'm getting off of this. Wisdom also, tremendous amount of wisdom coming through for you. So Vicky, whatever work you're working on, keep doing that work. I also feel like this is deep inner work. A lot of changes will occur in life, in the regular external world, but they're all coming from your perceptions are just completely changing about relationships, especially. Definitely, you're seeing things in a totally different light. Next card is for Rain. Rain, I feel your energy, even though I know you said that the moon cycles make you a little more intensive. I feel like your energy is definitely calmer than it's been. I feel like your energy is much softer. So if you're becoming more I feel like you're releasing, you're allowing yourself to flow more. Keep doing that. Definitely keep doing that. Okay, so this is for rain. And I know your husband is a musician, but I feel like you have been singing or something. I don't know why. I feel you've been like something vocal. Rain, all the violet light, and we talked about that before in the show. You just keep surrounding yourself with that beautiful violet, because I feel like that is what is soothing you, is your belief now, your understanding that Spirit really does have your back and is here to comfort you. But I also, for some reason, something with the throat chakra, vocal, singing, la 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 la, I just feel like that. So I don't know what you've been doing, but I'm hearing that is soothing for you. It's a good outlet for you. I think you definitely are healing, Rain. Absolutely healing. You are definitely doing the hard work, Janine. And this is for Terry. And then I'm going to do Maria. Yeah, Rain, have you been like something vocal? I don't know, like singing or something vocal. Maybe even just humming, but I hear like melody, like melodic. Could be angels, but I just feel like it's something with you. Okay, and this is for Terry Frattini. Okay, Terry. This is third eye, Terry. This is definitely third eye, speaking, finding your inner peace, voice. I feel like this is, the lotus blossom is coming right from the lips. So this is definitely something where your third eye is giving you messages. You may not even be aware of it yet. They may come in through dreams, but this is definitely an opening of the third eye for you. I feel like there is a person that passed over, female. There's also a male, but he's behind the female. I feel like the female person is actually coming through to help you understand the messages. This is like a blossoming, just a blossoming for you. And Rain, I know that you've been doing that, but for some reason, I don't feel like, I don't know if you sing but for some reason I feel like something's changed with your voice. Like now you're singing something. But Terry, I feel like this is you opening, and you're opening to like messages above the five senses, psychic phenomenon, lots of violet healing light. I also want you to know that the female energy on the other side that's coming through for me is someone that is healed now. If you were concerned, if they were in pain before they passed, they are healed now. They're showing me the violet light is all around them as well. They're bringing it to you for healing. But you are very closely connected right now to the other side. This to me is seeds or buds or the lotus blossoming. So that for me is messages coming through. So Terry, just take that with you. And if you are doing some kind of work in order to open more, it is absolutely working for you. And if everybody wants to see any live concerts, Ed and Rain Ryan, hop over, like Rain's page. You'll see Ed singing. Oh, I didn't know you were singing with Ed. I see that. Okay. So that came through. I didn't know that. I never can catch your stuff because it's usually in the afternoon. And this is for Maria. Yeah, Jillian, this is a project, like I feel like almost like, I feel like you've always been creative, but I feel like this is a new level of it. So whatever you're doing, really pour yourself into it because it's something that's going to be really great. Okay, so this is for Maria Dorso. You can hear me shuffling, right? Okay. Maria, I feel like you are, when you look at this, you feel like it's an eye, right? but it's not. It's a whirlpool. And so what I'm seeing is that you've got a lot of energy around you. You've got a lot of things pulling you down. If you look at the card this way, you can see it almost looks like a face or a big wind tunnel. And I feel like this is all around you. This is not you per se. It's you being dragged into the energy. It's like a lot of loud, like the world is just loud around you. A little bit of chaos. There's everyone talking, everybody swirling. And I feel like you need to step out of it. You need to step out of it and just like remove yourself from this part. Because if you look at it this way, you'll see it almost looks like a seashell, right? So what you want to do is step out of the whirlpool. Really, really important, especially maybe for this new moon, allowing the cycle to end for you and step out. Remember the control. We have control over what we allow into our life, what we allow to cause drama, etc. And I feel like you're allowing the externals in too much. So I would definitely, Maria, I would definitely step out of that and allow yourself serenity, whether it's a walk in the woods, by the ocean. I feel like you need to be more around trees though, earth energy, whatever that is. I feel like you need to step out of the chaos, step out of the wind, step out of the loudness, and go into some really quiet contemplation to find your center again. All right. And then I'm going to pick one for Donna. Oh my gosh, it's almost time for me to log off. Tonight went fast for me. I don't know about you guys. So one of the things that I'd like, that's beautiful, Rain. I think one of the first times we ever spoke, I was like, you have to go into the light. So I would like to hear suggestions from you guys about what you want me to talk about on the shows and what you really want to hear about. It's hard for me doing these every week by myself because, as you know, I started out in the studio and I had guests and all these things. The studio is being rebuilt right now, so I will be back in there and we'll have our live shows again and my guests and everything. But in the meantime, if there's anything that you guys want me to do a show about, please just like message me or comment here what you'd really like to know and hear about. I try to do a viewer's choice once a month so that you guys all have things, but we'd really like to do that. So this is for Donna Barilli. Okay. Donna, did you see I messaged you? They have the kind of music that you like at Adventureland Drive-Thru this weekend. I forget what you call it. Okay, Donna. Prayer. Donna, this is all about prayer and the power of prayer. And when I look at the prayer hands here, I see these hands coming down. And what that to me is like God just coming in and touching your heart to let you know you are loved. You are so loved. And all this beautiful pink healing light around you. I just feel like this is a card of prayer. All the prayers that we have that we're sending out to you. I know that you've been really challenged health-wise. And all the prayer that you do is going right up to God. And if you look really closely in this card, and one of the things I love about these cards is every time I look at them, and I've had them for years, I see something else every reading. And if you look at this card, you can see there's almost like a little face here, like a little fairy energy or a little elf or a little angel. And there's a saying, especially about Archangel Gabriel, who's the messenger of clear, who is the angel of clear messages. Gabriel was the angel that told Mary she was going to have baby Jesus. So that's why Gabriel is the divine messenger. But there's a saying that when we pray, the angels carry our prayers up to God. They are messengers. And I feel like this particular card is showing you that your prayers are going right up to God. So whatever they are, know that they are peaceful, that they are loving, and that you have somebody right by your side taking those beautiful prayers and just bringing them right up to God. So take that with you. I think that that's really a beautiful, beautiful card for you tonight. So keep praying because I think you got a direct line up there, sweetie. Okay, so my computer just froze, but I'm going to see if there are any other comments. Okay. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about on the show, please let me know. I would love to accommodate you all. I just lost my comments. Oh, here we're back. Okay. Oh, thank you, Rain. A freestyle. That's what it was. I couldn't remember. I don't know why. Like lately, I can't remember my words. Probably too many carbs. Halloween, a discussion on Patser. I don't know what that is. Paranormal stuff. Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. I don't talk about that a lot. I think we've all had our experiences, but we could definitely do a show. I think I'm actually, let me look a minute. I think Halloween is actually, am I on that night? Halloween is a Saturday. So I could do the show that Thursday, the 29th. We could do the show about that, definitely. We'll do some paranormal stuff. Maybe I could even get a guest. I don't know. Gina wants Colleen rather wants a card. I'm going to do my last card of the night. And if you don't hop over before you log off for tonight and look at those debates or whatever they are, if you could hop over to YouTube and just like my page. I need 100 people to do my lives. So 100 people. Maybe one day I'll have like 10,000. Who knows? Clearing energy. I could definitely do a show about that. I have a whole workshop that I do about clearing energy. Thank you, Rain. Thank you so much for supporting my work. I love your energy as well. So last card's going to be for Colleen Bonito. Colleen, step out of the duality. I feel like you are ambivalent about something. You're seeing good, bad, black, white, yes, no, can't really make it up. But if you look, this is hand-holding here. So this is you, both of you, our good side, our bad side, our duality, our inner self, our external self. You are not balanced. You need to get in balance. Hold your own hand. Be your own best friend. Whatever you're trying to make a decision about, the decision is within you. You're just not listening to yourself. You're listening too much to the externals. All right? Yeah, I liked Rain's idea. The clearing, maybe I'll do that next week for you guys. We'll talk about how to clear energy. How's that? I'll promote that for you guys. All right. So that's it, guys. I think that's our show. Tune in next Thursday. I'll make a promo. So we'll do it on clearing energy. And you guys can share that. Maybe we'll have a record bunch of people on our show. Okay? Thank you so much for supporting my work. I love all of you. If you want a private reading, zenkuda.com. And I'd love to accommodate. Thanks so much. I love you guys. Have a great week. Remember, stay in your power. Do a new moon ritual for endings. And move on and start making the plans for 2021. Thanks so much. Good night.